the CDC uh, put out a statement saying, "Hey, ladies, stop having sex in Houston because the syphilis outbreak is out of control and your babies are at stake, right? Because syphilis really harms pregnant women." And they're like, "Nope, don't care. Gonna still keep having unprotected sex." So it's just like CDC is only good when it's like to control people and get them inside, but when it's like, "Hey, stop having sex, unprotected sex, ladies," they're like, "No, fuck you." It's this. So, guys, if you're gonna date in Houston, wrap it up, please, for the love of God, because a lot of these cities. Yeah, that's another thing. Forgot to mention. If you're gonna go to a city, check out the STD rates. That will tell you a lot about the culture there in terms of dating.
Where do you find that?
CDC. Just go to CDC.
Okay.
I'll post an article in the private chat about the syphilis outbreak. It's been going on for years, and it's classified as a pandemic, like medically classified as a pandemic.
Hmm.
So everyone's so focused on COVID and monkeypox, but like guys, like eye syphilis is a thing. I see the billboards here when I'm driving home from work, and protect yourselves because a lot of these cities are full of STDs. So be
Women
careful.
are the real pandemic, as proven again.
Yes.
That pussy. We've got Chicago, Illinois. This is a place where you could get shot too. Chicago, Illinois, 1.01.
I just like the way it rolls. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul. The way you were so nonchalant. Hey, this is a place you get shot too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
What 1.01 single women per single man. You have River North, Wicker Park, and Lincoln Park are places in Chicago. I've been to Chicago a couple of times, both times with the military. Went up there once before I joined the Navy. I had a friend that was going to Navy boot camp, so I went up to Great Lakes, and then we hung out in the city that day. And so Chicago's interesting, it's an interesting place. But I've never went there like cruising for chicks, so I can't speak to that. We have Oakland, California, 1.01 single women per single man. That's a place you can get shot too. This is great. This list is awesome.
I'm putting it in the private now, Thor.
Okay.
I know you weren't. It's a UT. It's an article from UT Health, but several news and health organizations have covered it. There's going to be a little blackpilling. They started discovering it because babies were coming down with it when they were born.
Wow.
That's how they were like, wait, what's going on? And then they started like testing, and it's 128% increase from like prior years. So yeah, be careful in Houston, guys. Wrap it up.
Wow. Yeah, syphilis is nasty too. It's one of those few STDs where like there's no cure for it, and it'll make you go crazy. It's
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some STDs where guys are afraid of it, but it's like, it could be cured with penicillin. Don't worry about it, right? But like
herpes might not even ever show up, but syphilis looks painful.
Oh man, syphilis will rot your brain.
Right.
It's messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they killed Ichi.
Herpes, you can't cure it, but you could live with it, right? It could be treated, and then but syphilis and HIV. Wrap it up, guys. Even if you have the vasectomy, like Rolo said, wrap that shit up if you're out there spinning plates. Okay?
Doesn't 90% of the world have syphilis or something? Like if you have had a cold sore, congratulations, you have herpes. Sorry, you have herpes. Like doesn't 90% of the world have herpes?
Yeah, actually. Same with HPV. HPV, like it's really prevalent, like in women. So that
HPV women can only get HPV a certain amount of times before they become infertile. So enjoy, ladies. Keep having sex.
Yeah, essentially, if you had work, you got HPV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Here's the thing: a lot of the women that you see trying to do like fertility treatments and all that stuff, I have a sneaking suspicion it's because they've had HPV several times from promiscuity, and they're trying to become pregnant.
Yeah.
STD is a very under talked about topic. I know Sterling Cooper talked about it, but it's the aftermath of how it affects women's behavior and mindset in dating, right? Nothing will knock down a woman's SMV and her ability to get men than a herpes infection. They will literally they won't be able to date the men they want. It's pretty sad because the choice they face is, do I lie to this guy? Do I like that I like?
Yeah.
Or because I know everyone thinks women are evil, but at the same time, women have a conscience, and like, from women that have admitted it to me before we slept, it's like they were in tears, and they said, "I told you because I liked you. I don't tell guys I don't like." And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Wow, whamming.
Wait, you were just saying women aren't evil? Could you rephrase that again?
Yes. Nurse Chick, you are right. Quoting Ryan Stone with that. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So Oakland is actually the last one on the list of a greater ratio of women to men. The rest of the ones on the list, I don't know why ChatGPT gave them to me, because they're all basically 1-to-1 or a little bit lower. But you have Denver with a 1-to-1, you have Phoenix with a 1-to-1, Minneapolis, Minnesota with a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you have Richmond, Virginia, which technically there's more single men. It's a 0.99 single women to single men, and then you have New Orleans with a 0.98 single women to single men. So that's the rest of the list, guys. Let's go and go around the horn and let's wrap this up now that Red Hawk's back. You guys didn't even know he was gone. You couldn't even tell because he doesn't have his camera on. But yeah, let's go around the horn. We'll start with Red Hawk since he is back. What do you got going on, and what are your final thoughts there, Red Hawk?
I think just the final thoughts over this whole conversation is, don't be judging the place you move just by the ratio of chicks. Don't make we talk about this in this space all the time. Do not make women the absolute center of your life. All right. There's a million one reasons to move to a city, and maybe, the ratio of chicks is 20th on that list. If that, you notice how all these cities we've been talking about, they all fucking suck, but they have good ratios of women. So trade-offs, right? Anywho, if you guys want more of my stuff, just check me out, the Old Glory Club. These days, streams every Thursday, talk about American politics and such. So that's where you can find most of my stuff these days.
All right, sounds good. Thor, what do you got going on, brother?
Well, I'm working on our project, and feel free to talk about it if you want. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you can find me at becomedurable.com. There's some new free content in there, particularly an hour-long webinar I did is now up on there, and it takes you to my private YouTube where it talks about weapon safety and things like that. So I don't get demonetized, but it's good stuff. Guys, the title of the show today, top 20 USAs where single men have the dating advantage. I'll tell you a little secret. Men don't realize men always have the dating advantage. We're the deciders. Anyway, Skull. See you on the Dragon Ship.
Nuke, what do you got going on? What are your final thoughts?
Do your front work. Do your homework when you're going to move somewhere. You got to know what you want too, right? What type of woman do you want? What type of job do you want? What type of friends do you want, right? Like Miami, I don't think I'd probably find good friends, right? But like I like kind of the type of people I meet here because they have the same professions as me and all that stuff. There's so many things, like Hawk was saying, there's so many things to look at before going to a city. But make sure you know who you are as a person. Like make sure that your revealed preferences for things are known to yourself, because if not, you don't want to move somewhere, invest all that money and time and energy just to hate it. Right. And then look at what the consciousness of humanity is doing in your country, or if everyone's leaving California, it's probably for a reason, right? There's probably something up with that. If a lot of guys are going to Austin and thriving, it's probably because it's probably good for people like you.
This has been Rule Zero. New episodes every Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Subscribe now.